Moving to oneness. Nourishing curiosity. Embracing differences. Becoming one. So welcome everyone to Moving to Oneness. I am Denise Hansard here in the United States. I'm a life architect and motivational speaker. And with me today, as my co-host, is
Meilin here sitting in Germany, beautiful Bavaria. And I love to heal with sound.
Oh, that's beautiful, Meilin. I love it. And so, guys, what we want to talk about today, since this has been deemed the month of love and of our heart as February, is really begin to look at how do we view love? How do we bring love into our life? And what effect does it have in our life in the way of healing and lightness and compassion and being able to move forward secure in the love that we have for ourselves and secure in the light that is emanating from that love?
Beautiful.
So, yeah, it's kind of one of those, the way I view it, Meilin, as we are embracing the differences of everyone out there and in the world, is that we have to really start with ourselves first.
Yes.
That's the way I see it. Yeah. And
yeah, because
go ahead.
Yeah, guys, it's funny, but I love it. It's sometimes on radio or a podcast, you don't see the face. And Denise and I both had radio shows for 5 years. How many years did you have your radio show, Denise?
I just had it for a year, and that was enough.
Yeah, but very successful show, that's for sure. Very interesting. And sometimes to pick it up, but stick with us. We'll get more fun as we go on and create more episodes. The love part is something we can sense within ourselves. And many of us, I know, have very awkward connection to the word love. Some here think it is just a word that is spoken. Oh, I love you, I love you. It has no depth. Others can feel the love really intense of anything that is in the world. The love to nature, love to a pet, another person. So it's very easy to love or understand their own love. I think this is really, there is a broad spectrum, and that makes this topic so interesting because everyone reacts and acts different on this world.
Yeah, I agree with that. And what I also know is that for every reaction we have, we want to be able to take that in and see how we can choose our actions. I have a quote framed on my wall in my office, and I live by this as I remember it always, because we all have had many different type of events that have happened in our life that have hurt us, have caused us great pain, has made us wonder, what is this life all about? And the way that I view it is exactly like this quote. It says, it's not what happens to you, but what you do with what happens to you that matters.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, it's kind of like, this is where it all boils down to, is in our choices that we get to choose each and every moment. And I feel like the greatest choice we have is to really dive down deep inside of ourselves and understand the love that we have for ourselves. I don't think we can really move forward until we love each and every beauty mark, ugliness, whatever we deem it. It's not really ugly because it is beautiful, but we have to love every inch of our body and understand that as we are loving deep, deep, deep within ourselves, we find that security and the light, and we're filling a void that I think a lot of people experience because we forget who we are and we forget the moment of the love that we have for ourselves. And that's what we want to do, is to move back inward into just pure love for ourselves.
Yeah, and how do you do that? So I'm thinking of someone who I spoke with a while back. He said he has no understanding what love is. I feel love very deeply. I have a tendency to see the love in every person. Oh, I heard words expressed toward me because I should have not done that. But in any person, in every person, there is this spark. And I believe it wants to shine out, wants to radiate out. And we have to find it. So I encourage all of you who are listening today, maybe put your hand on your heart and just find the location of it. Because the heart is the strongest symbol we see out, I think, throughout the world for love. Maybe also the color of red, depends on what culture you come from. And you may feel the pulse, the movement of your heart. You may feel the heat that comes from your hand that moves toward the heart. If you can, so maybe if it's difficult, to start from the inside out, we can start from the outside in with the decision you take to say, oh, I want to find my love. I want to understand my love in a better way. How does it feel like for myself? And maybe you feel also like, when you've experienced it yourself, then you can speak with someone else about it, and even more doors open up and you hear more or see more in a way where you can hook to, that you can play with it, that it comes from different sides of understanding what love is for you and how it feels like.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Meilin, and I want to take it just a little bit deeper, because we've all had our past stories, like I said, of things that have happened to us. And what happens within that when we've been hurt or rejected or even given up on by others, sometimes by ourselves, our mind, our ego, begins to shut down the capacity to open our heart up, to open up the love that we have, because it wants to keep us safe. And so a tool that you can use to begin opening up is to begin to look at when you hear the voice of the ego that says, no, don't do that, which is always confusing. I feel it's very confusing when I'm looking at something and I'm questioning it, because the ego voice is one of which it resides, gives you a headache. It resides totally up in your head, even though it may emanate and spread throughout your body. But it's one of those questioning aspects and keeping you unclear, foggy-brained, things like that. If you can create the awareness of when that has happened and hit what I call a beautiful pause button, which is a big red button inside of you that says no pause, is that who I really am? Stop that. And then drop deep into the center of your body, your gut, your heart area, that chest cavity, and begin to see it as, let's go with the theme of like a red rose.
Yes,
in
beautiful.
A bud. A tight bud, and see the light flowing into it and the ground nourishing it from the soil of feeding it to where it just blossoms and opens up. That's a way to envision your heart being open. And some of us may reside in fear just a little bit of saying, but I'm afraid to open my heart up. Well, here's what I have to tell you. Envision yourself in a Teflon bubble that nothing and no one and no words or anything can penetrate it, but you can see outside and you're totally protected, but your love can spread throughout it and even seep out to others. That's a tool that I like to be able to use, to be able to help people to understand as they're opening themselves up. It's called visioning. And it's visioning for your life. And it really means taking that ego brain that we have and allowing it to pause for a moment and saying, yes, I hear you, I see you, but what if? And drop down into the blossoming aspect of our heart, our soul, our inner self, to be able to say, it's safe, it's okay. And meditation helps with this, whether it is the meditative state of just quieting your mind and focusing in on your breath, or, in your home, or you can walk out in nature and have that process of being fully present with everything. So, and it's a journey, and we have to keep practicing and keep doing it over and over again as we continue to embrace even the differences within ourself of what we listen to, the ego voice or your heart voice, whatever that may sound like for you.
Yeah, and I like the idea of a bubble, a space where you feel safe. And when you use the metaphor of opening up through a bud, blossoming, feel the sun rays that do enter, warm up the space. You really can soak up the sun. So you can visually imagine it, or you can even sit outside, or if it's too cold, sit at the window and feel the sun hit your body and feel the warmth. Notice how your body expands. Yeah, and often we think about the heart only from the front. And we've been speaking also the flower, so it's always like a front vision. But maybe as you sit in the sun, turn around. Let the sun hit your back. Also imagine that, or ask someone else to put a hand on the back of your heart. If you have a child, a partner, or a parent, or a dear friend. Or if you can reach it, do it yourself, and feel then also the heat. Or put your heart between your two hands. This is a beautiful way to get to know yourself, to get to know how the pulse, your life pulse, comes from, and how it then even is able to ooze out of you into the world, to touch yourself, to vibrate each of your cells, and to touch and vibrate out into the world and touch everyone and everything that is in the world.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And one of the key things we have to remember is we have to have fun.
Yes.
Fun. So this is part of it, is being able to dance, to embrace movement in whatever way that means, to create that higher vibrational level within yourself, which is also an opening up to joy, to compassion, to love, just to have that freedom of being like a child again. And I think, Meilin, you have a way in which to do that I can't wait for you to share it with us, that helps people to embrace the love through a higher vibration of their voice.
Yes.
And I would love for you to talk more about that, and then to end us up with that methodology.
Yeah. So for me, I have to speak a quick moment about the dancing and fun. So I sit here, when I started putting my hands on my heart area, really that's also where illumination starts from. I started moving to the side, front, and if you're maybe standing in your living room or in the sun, you don't have to sit. Slowly let your body move you. Get to know what it wants and dance, and maybe the rhythm picks up after a while. Maybe it's a very mellow movement. And yes, because Denise, and I want to encourage our listeners to write in. We have the Facebook group Moving to Oneness, and there I asked our members to write in for what they wanted a song, and there's two women. Lorraine asked about, all about the heart, the love, expanding our heart area. And we spoke about that, but there was also Christina in San Diego who talked about sounds, right? And about moving in these times forward, to be open enough and to move on to the adventure, what these new energies are bringing us. So it all started with a beautiful meditation, your intention of opening your heart, of opening these roads within you, this gorgeousness, and showing more and more of your blossom. Ja, genau. Sometimes Blüte in German. Yeah, and as you open it up, maybe tones come out, because I believe you can maybe hum or express words that connect what really love is for you. Maybe the word love is not the love that you sense. So speak out those words, maybe while you dance, or sing them out, tone them out. And I will do this for you now to support you on moving us out forward into, as we were speaking about oneness, but to support that opening, so that once you decide to start opening, it can go on and pulsate open. This is this beautiful, where you go in and out and in and out. You become more secure. You have a certain ease about yourself and anything that comes and happens to you in life. And you have a new vision, right? For whatever adventure comes next. So a small song for you, sound, to celebrate, to delve into this topic and to open up and to expand infinite toward it.
Oh, Meilin, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That vibrated deep into my soul, which I think is what exactly we're talking about today, guys, is really to go deep within in whatever way is possible, through tones, through music, through humming, through yourself, through meditation, through dance, through having fun and the joy. That's what it's about. In our episode of Moving to Oneness, we want to thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.